My name's Isaac Gibson. I am the ski school director at Snowflex, and I handle development programs and help out with camps. I'm also this head ski and snowboard coach at Liberty. Growing up, I was always into action sports, mostly skateboarding, biking, and then snowboarding is certainly within the realm of action sports, and it was something I always saw videos and TV shows about, and it was dang, that looks so sick. I've always loved just being in the snow with sledding and stuff like that, so it was being able to ride a board and jump and do all these tricks and stuff seemed so much fun. But with where I lived, and I guess my parents and the community, I was in with friends and stuff, nobody really skied or snowboard, and it was never something I had the opportunity to do growing up. So as soon as Snowflex was built in Lynchburg, when I was 16, I think is when it opened, and I asked my parents if I could go up for my birthday and give it a shot. So I came up with my best friend that we always skated together, and my older sister. And I'm thinking oh, snowboarding's gonna be so easy. It's skateboarding, but the board's strapped to your feet, so it's gonna be nothing, cake, And I get up here and I do the bunny slope. At the time, there's no features or anything on the bunny slope, and so I went down maybe 5 or 6 times, and I could go straight and I could ride back up the rope, and I was okay, this is super boring. What's next? So I go up to the big hill. Struggle to get on the lift, keep falling over and over again, and then got tired of falling and not getting up the hill. So then one time I fell and just held on to the lift and just let it drag me up the hill just so I could get up. So it's now I look at that and I see somebody falling on the lift over and over again. I'm just if you can't make it up the lift, you probably don't have any business being on the upper hill. And that's certainly where I was at. So I was coming down the big hill, didn't know how to turn very well, didn't know how to stop, so I would just bomb it until I caught an edge, and then it was just toppling end over end, getting into positions I definitely didn't want to be in, but I wanted to try and figure it out. So I kept doing it a few times until I was beaten and bruised and just super discouraged and kind of frustrated, that snowboarding was way harder than I expected it to be. That was my first experience when I was 16. And then it was probably the following year when I came for Seafall, and I was all right, I'm gonna try this snowboarding thing out again. So I came up twice during Seafall and kind of started figuring it out a little bit more on my own. I could get down the hill without killing myself every time. Started hitting some of the boxes and whatnot, and then that was a better experience, and it was okay, that was super fun. And then 2 years later, when I decided to come to school here, it was I'm finally gonna be in a place where I can snowboard consistently if I want to. So as soon as I got here, all I wanted to do was come up to Snowflex, and I remember the first couple days there was no bus coming up to Snowflex, so I had to wait a couple days to get up here, and it was just I was itching at me so bad. And then I finally made it up, and I was coming up pretty consistently just on my own riding. And then I heard I think I walked into the Rot one day, and they had Snowflex had a table set up, and they were advertising for this contest called Trails to Rails, and the contest was all about taking skiers and snowboarders who had little to no experience and training them for 2 months, and then having a contest at the end of it. And I was dang, that sounds the perfect competition for me, because it was I wanted to be on the snowboard team, but I was nowhere near skilled enough to make it there. But here's this other contest that I can be a part of and learn and get better. So I tried out for it, ended up making it. Had this guy Ethan Acree as my coach. We trained for 2 months, just taught me a ton of stuff. And then the end of the 2 months, had the competition, and I was able to place second in the competition, and that was just the beginning. It was all right, this was sick. I was able to do pretty well, so I just continued riding and coming up all the time. And then within my first year of school, was able to learn a decent amount of tricks on rails and like get pretty well rounded on jumps. So then coming into my sophomore year of school, like my goal was to make the ski and snowboard team. So I started like coming out, riding a ton, coming to practices, just trying to like learn as much as I could. And then like fortunately for me, like that was a rebuilding year for the team. So like a ton of new guys were coming out, and I ended up like making it and rode snow at a resort for my first time in our first contest. And it was a USCSA contest, and like sometimes like for those contests you don't really get much practice before you compete, and we literally had one run through the park before we got to compete, and they said that like you couldn't hit features on your first run. You had to like slip the hill and like inspect it and see everything. So I slipped it my first run, and then my first time hitting a feature on snow was my first run in the contest. You know, as I got into snowboarding and doing that more, it was like, wow, like this is something I really enjoy, and I want to like use this as much as I can while I can. So I started snowboarding a ton, and was able to like make the LU team and spent a ton of time with that, you know, traveling with them in the season and like winter season, and then just riding a ton at Snowflex. And as I did that, I became like more involved in the community up at Snowflex, ended up getting a job at Snowflex, working my way through a couple positions to an instructor position, and then like began teaching skiing and snowboarding. And then this season was able to move into the head coaching position, as Ryan had to step down. So that was kind of like a bittersweet thing, where it was like definitely a bummer to see Ryan go and not have him part of the team anymore, but like really exciting to move into that position where I'm able to kind of guide the direction of the team and be I guess like the guy that's leading this like group of crazy kids around. You know, if I went another direction, like I would still be like pretty happy with my life and like where I'm like God's taking me. Just so happened like this was the direction God wanted me to go, and I'm certainly like very, very thankful that he's kind of planned it out the way he did, and I've been able to meet the people I've been able to meet, and like go the places I've gone, and just had like all these experiences. I don't know what it would have been like if I went that way, but I went this way, and it's been really sick. My life went from where it was like had no part of the ski and snowboarding community to like I'm a part of the ski and snowboard community, and like the friends that I have and the places I've gone have pretty much been because of Snowflex and because of like the people that I've met through this community. And it's like crazy like how many people I know across like the country and like even around the world just because of like a silly little like carpet hill that Liberty decided to build in Virginia. Like nuts.